What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jab Queen Boxing, and today is Thursday. So, you know what that means? It is Throwback Thursday, baby. Boxing style. Better yet, Jab Queen Boxing style. Today's Throwback Thursday feature is none other than James Lights Out Toney. In the world of boxing, some guys are just built different. James Lights Out Toney was one of them. He was a throwback, a master of old school defense in an era that was all about offense. And he could dominate with a style most people thought was ancient history. Tony was a genius counterpuncher and an inside fighter who loved to work off the ropes, using slick shoulder rolls, lightning fast hands, and some serious power too. But his story isn't just about what he did inside the ring. It was forged in the fire of being the guy nobody bet on, the fighter everyone counted out, only for him to prove them all wrong time and time again. This is a story of how a 20-1 long shot with a massive chip on his shoulder and defensive skills that left opponents swinging at air became a multi-weight world champion and a Hall of Famer. James Toney's path to greatness started far from Las Vegas glitz. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Toney had a short but powerful amateur career, finishing with a record of 33 wins and 2 losses, with 32 of those wins coming by way of knockouts. He went pro in October of 1988, fighting from an orthodox stance and scoring a second round TKO. It was a quiet start, but things were about to get very loud. While he was building his record, Tony wasn't exactly a household name. And after his manager was tragically killed, he hired Jackie Kalin, a former publicist from the legendary Kronk Gym. With Kalin managing and the iconic Detroit manager Bill Miller in his corner, Tony's ascent continued. Miller was the one who perfected Tony's signature defensive style, teaching him the old school shoulder roll that would become his calling card. By early 91, Tony was undefeated with 25 wins and 1 draw, but too many. He was still an unproven talent. That perception was about to shatter in a fight no one thought he could win. On May 10th, 1991, James Toney stepped through the ropes as a massive 20-1 underdog against IBF middleweight champion Michael second to none. None. None was the real deal, a top pound for pound fighter defending his title in his hometown of Davenport, Iowa. He was taller, had a longer reach, and was fully expected to dominate the cocky challenger from Michigan. Award from the Ring magazine. As champion, Tony quickly proved he was no fluke. He defended his title 6 times in a string of tough, unforgettable fights. His reign included a rugged split decision win over Reggie Johnson and a highly disputed split decision victory against David Pibbery. The Tipperary fight became a major scandal, with the controversy so immense it led U.S. Senator William Roth of Delaware, that's Tippery's home state, to launch an investigation into the corruption in boxing. He also sparked a legendary rivalry with another future Hall of Famer, Mike the Body Snatcher McCullough. Their first clash in 1991 ended in a split draw, a gritty tactical war that proved both men had iron chins and brilliant boxing minds. A year later, they did it again, and this time Toney walked away with the majority decision, cementing his status as the best middleweight on the planet. But Toney didn't stop there. He jumped up to super middleweight, and in February of 1993, he put on an absolute clinic against IBF champion Iran Barkley. Despite Barkley's reputation as a knockout artist, Toney took him apart with surgical precision, forcing Barkley's corner to stop the fight after 9 rounds because of severe swelling around his eyes. Toney was now a two-division world champion, a defensive wizard who seemed untouchable. His incredible run, however, was about to collide with a force of nature. In November of 1994, Toney faced the phenomenal Roy Jones Jr. In a battle between two undefeated champions at their peak. Toney, reportedly drained from a difficult weight cut, was out-hustled and outmaneuvered, losing a lopsided decision, the first official loss of his professional career. Just a few months later, in a fight many thought he should have won, Toney lost a controversial majority decision to Montel Griffin. He would lose a more decisive rematch to Griffin the following year, leaving many to wonder if his best days were behind him. After the losses to Jones and Griffin, many people started to write James Toney off, but they were forgetting who they were dealing with. Toney launched one of the most incredible comebacks in boxing history. He moved up to cruiserweight, and on April 26, 2003, he challenged the undefeated IBF champion, Vasily Jarov. What followed was a brutal back and forth war that was named Fight of the Year. Toney showed his veteran smarts and unbelievable toughness, weathering an early onslaught from the relentless Jarov, who threw over 1,000 punches. With the fight hanging in the balance, Toney dropped the champion in the final round to secure the unanimous decision victory. James Toney was a three-weight world champion, and his performance won a second Fighter of the Year award a full 12 years after his first. But there was still one more mountain to climb, the heavyweight division. He made a huge splash by methodically breaking down and stopping the legendary Evander Holyfield in 2003. This set up for a shot at the WBA heavyweight champion John Ruiz. On April 30th of 2005, Toney put on a master performance, knocking Ruiz down and winning a clear decision. For a brief moment, he'd done it. He joined the rare group of former middleweights to win a heavyweight title. But the celebration was cut short. Toney failed a post-fight drug test, testing positive for an anabolic steroid. The victory was overturned to a no contest. He was fined, suspended, and stripped of the championship. It was a devastating blow, tainted what should have been a crowning achievement. Spanning from 1988 to 2017, James Toney's professional career officially wrapped, though he did step back for an exhibition fight in 2023. He retired with a stellar official record of 77 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws, and 2 no contests. But maybe the most jaw-dropping stat on his nearly 30 years, 92 fights career is that he was never, ever stopped. He fought in the best fighters of his generation across multiple weight classes and always heard that final bell, a testament to his iron chin and defensive genius. His style was a beautiful throwback. The Philly shell defense, the pinpoint counterpunching, the relentless pressure, it was all pure art. He could fight moving forward, backwards, slipping punches with the slightest movement before firing back with his own vicious hooks and uppercuts. He was a true student of the sweep science who proved that defense could be every bit as electrifying as offense. For his incredible career, his world titles, and his unique place in boxing history, Toney received the sport's highest honor. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame as part of class of 2022. The 20-1 underdog had finally completed his journey, his name forever immortalized among the greatest to ever do it. What's your favorite James Toney moment? Do you think he's one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time? Let me know in the comments below. James Toney's career was a wild ride of stunning upsets, controversial calls, masterful wins, and tough breaks. He was a brash, outspoken character who people either loved or hated. But no one could deny his skills inside the ropes. He carried on the torch for an older, craftier style of boxing and used it to confound a whole generation of fighters. From his shocking KO of Michael Nunn to his improbable climb to the heavyweight division, Toney made a career out of defying the odds. He proved that with enough heart, skill, and pure stubbornness, even the biggest underdog can carve out a little legacy that lasts forever, earning his place in the Hall of Fame as one of the toughest men to ever lace up the gloves. Well, guys, that concludes this week's episode of Throwback Thursday, our feature of James Lights Out Toney. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I will be live tonight at 5:30. Make sure you pull up and show your girl some love.